Okay, so here we are with another DC Multiverse unboxing from Mcfarlane Toys, and this is Fire. Just says Fire, but we know that this is Fire from Justice League Internacional. Uh, I'm hoping that I can open my Superman figures this week. I'm hoping we'll be able to do a show with Captain Have Fun. I've got like a lot of Superman figures to get through and a lot of Green Lantern figures to get through. She's not a Green Lantern figure, but I could forgive you if you thought that she was. Uh, We've got more Masters of the Universe coming up. We got more GI Joe coming up. I still got those Ninja Turtles figures that I'm sitting on. I've got like the Shredder and Casey Jones. Got a lot of cool stuff coming. But if you want to make sure you don't miss any of that, make sure you like and subscribe and all that fun YouTube stuff down below. Right now, we're going to open Fire. Here's a picture of her on the back, which I believe this is an extreme close up of a detail of a picture by Ed Bennis. I don't know if they just couldn't find a better picture of her than that. It's not a bad picture, but it's just kind of strange that they got so into a close up of a of like this is a huge piece of artwork with a lot of characters on it, and rather than find a picture, and you could have got like even if you wanted like a pinup-y TNA kind of pick of Fire, you could have got like Adam Hughes like he did a lot of pictures of her. So, and I don't mean anything against Ed Bennis, great artist. I enjoy his work. It's just a strange choice to me. So she was originally created in the Super Friends comics. And like a lot of the characters that were created for the Super Friends cartoon show, they were going for like ethnic diversity. And more specifically, with the Global Guardians, which was the first team she was a member of, they were going for like an international kind of flavor with their new Super Friends characters they were creating for this comic. And she was from Brazil, and they wound up putting her into the Justice League Internacional comic in the late '80s, early '90s because they couldn't use the big guns, so they were just I guess trying to use whatever side characters they thought they could get any use out of, and the Global Guardians weren't really getting used, so they popped some of them into the Justice League Internacional. And I personally think that you know, basically her and Ice got the most use because they were pretty girls. And you had Adam Hughes working on the book. And like Kevin McGuire, I think was the main Justice League artist at that time. But Adam Hughes was doing, I think, Justice League Europe, and he was doing covers and things like that. And Adam Hughes can draw some pretty girls. I mean, we know that this is true. Hell, Kevin McGuire can draw some pretty girls. But yeah, originally her name was Green Flame, and Ice's name, I believe, originally was Ice Maiden. And they kind of became a team within the team, and they were Fire and Ice. Now she's an all translucent figure, which makes me kind of worry that some of these joints might be kind of fragile, but the joints do look a little more opaque than the rest of the figure. We're going to talk more about the figure in a minute, but before I do that, I still have a trading card to figure stand to talk about, so let's go ahead and get those out. Da, 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 da. Here we go. There's the card. And we got the figure stand. And since this is an older figure stand, it has the older, or an older figure, it has the older style of figure stand, which is a matte figure stand with a glossy DC logo embossed onto it. How much more black can this be? And the answer is none. None more black. Same piece of artwork we had on the back of the package. There's what the back of the trading card looks like. And it reads, Fire, data file, real name Beatriz Bia B. Benila de Costa, originally a spy for the Brazilian Secret Service. B was on a mission when she came into contact with some strange chemical mix called pyroplasm. Her exposure to the substance gave her the metahuman ability to control green flame that could cover her whole body and allow her to fly. She's basically like the Human Torch, but she's green. And that's pretty much it. So And of course, the Human Torch is a character that was many would consider to be the first Marvel superhero, at least tied with Submariner. I think technically Submariner came a little before, but we don't want to get too into all that right now. But yeah, Human Torch has been a character that's been part of Marvel since the Golden Age, and of course, I think more people are more familiar with the Fantastic Four version of the Human Torch, who really is a different character, Johnny Storm. But yeah, it's a cool visual to have a person on fire flying through the air. And of course, they couldn't, just have her be a person on fire because then she just looks like the Human Torch. Maybe the Human Torch with boobs, but still. So they made her green, and originally she was called, like I said, the Green Flame. But as part of the Fire and Ice team, she later became simply known as Fire. So these fireballs on her hands, these are removable. And by the way, this is another figure that I think would have benefited greatly from a flight stand, especially if they made it in translucent green. I think that would have looked really cool. But anyway, but yeah, other than that, from the neck down, this figure is mostly a repaint of the Nightfall Catwoman figure. I believe the pelvis is a different piece, which is good because the pelvis, let's just say it had some issues on that Nightfall Catwoman figure. You know what I'm talking about. If you got that figure, if you know, you know. But they seem to have corrected the issues with this one. But not only that, she's got like almost like a belt of flame about her waist, something to give her a little. I guess if you're going to redo the waist for Fire, you might as well go ahead and add a little something to it. But and she looks a little bit less plain that way. I bought a few of these because they were on clearance, and I thought that they would be good for customs since it is a pretty simple blank body for the most part. They've used this Catwoman body a few times, like Supergirl uses a lot of these parts, and I forget who else, but yeah, they've gotten some use out of these parts. But you can see if you look at her, she's got the tall boots and the kind of opera length gloves like the Nightfall Catwoman had. And I do think she looks a lot better with these fireballs attached to her hands. And the fireballs are really cool. They're not just clear, translucent green plastic like you might expect. They actually have a little bit of dry brushing of some lighter green paint on them, which I think is good. And they did the same with her hair. You can see there's some of that and some good paint detailing on the face. She looks really nice. They did a good job with this figure. So let's go ahead and talk about the articulation. Fire can look up about that far, look down about that far, tilt her head kind of quizzically from side to side, rotate the head all the way around. Of course, the arms rotate all the way around the shoulders. They've got the cool Mcfarlane butterfly joints on there, so it can move around pretty well. Arms raise up to the sides about that far. She's got a bicep swivel, bicep cut. It's I think they tried to kind of hide it with the opera gloves, but it's there. She's got double jointed elbows. That's about the range of motion you get at the elbows. Excellent range of motion there. Then she's got the cool Mcfarlane wrist articulation, so you can move these wrists around any which way you want to. Excellent wrist articulation. Best wrist articulation on any action figures going right now. Same with the ankles, but we'll get to those in a minute. She's got the cool Mcfarlane torso articulation, so you can get some dramatic posing out of that. She can bend back about that far, bend forward about that far, side to side about that far. Of course, the torso rotates all the way around where the rib cage meets the abs and where the abs meet the waist. She's got a little bit of a wobble right there, but not a whole lot. They could have done better with that. Fire can kick up about that far. She's got double jointed knees. That's about the range of motion we get at the knees. And no boot cut, but she does have the cool, like I said, Mcfarlane ankle articulation. So the ankle rotates all the way around where the ankle meets the shin, and the ankle rotates all the way around where the ankle meets the foot. And then her foot can point down about that far, point up about that far, and then she's got toe articulation just to show off. So they did a really nice job with this figure. Like I said, it could have been very much improved with a flight stand. And I think that she probably could have benefited from having some new arms and legs, so she didn't necessarily have the Catwoman boots or gloves. But it's even though I can tell that they're there, it's not like super obvious, if that makes any sense. So I think they could have done a much worse job with this. Now, that having been said, even though they got Fire, they haven't put out a figure of Ice yet, and they've got less than a year left on their license at this point. Like their license is going to end, I believe, in July of 2026, and here we are at the end. Wow, we're already at the end of August. How crazy is that? But yeah, so they've got maybe about 10 months left. They could possibly crank out an Ice figure. I guess we'll see if they actually manage to get her out, and if they wind up naming that character Ice, because like there's other connotations to that word nowadays. So I don't know if some people might complain about that. I don't want to get too into the weeds on that. This is not the place to be discussing politics. But yeah, Fire turned out to be a pretty good figure. And like I said, I bought a few of these because I thought she'd be good to use for customs. But I definitely wanted to have one to keep as Beatriz in her. Is it Beatriz or Beatriz, or I don't know. I'm not sure. So I hope I'm pronouncing it right either way. So it looks like to me also like her face. I don't know if it's just the way the light is hitting it, but like I think they put like a little bit of paint on her face so her face will be slightly less translucent. Probably just so it's not all the way translucent. Like if I hold up my computer monitor here, I can see the light kind of shining through it, but it's a little frosty, which is an odd thing to say about a character that's on fire. But anyway, I think that's it for Fire. I hope you enjoyed this episode. I'm not sure what I'm gonna do next. Cause let's see, I got that Lex Luthor figure. Do I have any more of my big stack of DC Multiverse? Or did I finally work through them? Oh no, I still have Cyclone. I can still do Cyclone. So we'll go ahead and do Cyclone next, I think, and get her out of the way. And I gotta take this to the recycling, and I still got the box for Orion that I gotta take to the recycling. And let's see what else I got over here. I got another Dick Grayson Batman that I didn't open. That's the blue colored version, the platinum version. There's another Max Mercury. I got tons of Max Mercury. I got a lot of Max Mercury. I got a lot of Fire, and I got a lot of Commander Steel. And I've opened all those guys. So we opened Penguin finally. Man, what do we got left to open? We might need to move on to something like G.I. Joe or something. But I've got G.I. Joe that I'm waiting on from Big Bad Toy Store. I got a lot of stuff in my pile of loot at Big Bad Toy Store that I need to order. But I know I got some more Masters of the Universe that are going to be in the pile of loot soon. So I'm waiting on everything to be. So right now I'm waiting on the 3 cartoon collection figures that I have, which is Shadow Weaver and Whiplash and Bow. So I'll have all 3 of those coming, and then we got the 2 Masterverse figures, which was Tila and Cobra Khan. And then I've got more Masterverse figures that I already have in hand to open up, because I got She-Ra from New Etheria, and I got the new Attorney of Beastman, and then G.I. Joe. Let's see, we got Flint, we got CoverGirl, we got the Super 7. Oh, we got Flint, CoverGirl, we got the Frag Viper, we got Footloose, we got the Super 7 version of Duke, and I've got the Super 7 version of Falcon in my pile of loot. So that means I'm going to have more of these Super 7 guys that I like. So we'll have more of those to talk about. Oh, and Wild Bill. I got Wild Bill in hand also. So, and then, like I said, we got some Superman figures, because we got a couple of the movie figures. We got Lex Luthor and Mr. Terrific. We got the black costume Superman from right before Rebirth. Talk more about that. The bearded Superman, the Daddy Superman, as a friend of mine once called him. We got what else do we have of Superman? We had Superboy. Got Superboy to open up. We got the Eradicator to open up. So you know what that means? That means I now have all 4 of the Reign of Superman figures, because I already opened Steel, and we already opened Cyborg Superman. So that means we now have Superboy and Eradicator to add to the list. So we got all four the Reign of the Superman figures, which is another reason I wanted to have that black costume Superman. But we'll talk more about that. We'll cross that bridge when we come to it. But that's pretty much it for Fire. I hope you enjoyed this episode, and if you did, please make sure that you like and subscribe and all the fun YouTube stuff down below. YouTube likes it when I say like and subscribe, so I tend to try to say like and subscribe as much as possible. That way more people like and subscribe, and when they like and subscribe and they see the videos and they like those videos and they like and subscribe on those, they'll put it out to even more people who will like and subscribe, and it continues and it grows, and that's good for YouTube, and that's good for me, and that's good for everybody. It's good for the people who watch my. It's good for everybody except for my haters, and I don't really care if it's good for my haters or not. I mean, like, whatever. And if you don't like these videos, make sure that you hit that downvote button. Uh, anything that's interaction is good on this channel. It's engagement. They like that. So yeah, hit the downvote button and leave a comment and let me know how I talk too much during the videos and don't show the figure enough. Bobby Wall is here, and he says it's trying to become subliminal message now. It's starting to become it's starting to become, well, I'm trying and it's starting. How about that? Bobby Wall showed up at the very tail end of the last video that I made, and now he's showing up at the tail end of this. But I'm glad I got to say hi to you this time, at least. I at least responded to your comment that you left the last time. So we've just been like two ships passing in the night lately. So, but yeah, always good to see you. That's it for this episode. Hope you enjoyed it. Next episode, I will be back with Cyclone. And then I think that's all the backup DC figures that I've finally gotten through all of them. So who knows what that's going to mean for the future. Anyway, that's this for this episode. Hope you enjoyed it. We'll talk to you next time. Bye.